Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. I am Rebecca Greenspan, the founder and CEO of RG Adoption Consulting, and I hope you are having a wonderful Friday. If you are watching from IG, I'm not looking at you. Hold on, let me see if I can see. The problem is, hold on. It would not be a proper Facebook Live or IG Live or YouTube Live, whatever I'm in, without having some tech issues now, would it? Anyways, I hope everybody is having, thank you, Gina, a great Friday. Got some red in my hair. Had to change, I got some curls. You know, it's the last day of the current year that I'm in, so I had to get a little fancy. How's everybody's Friday been? Let's start with some wins, please. Hashtag win, or forget the hashtags, just write them in the comments. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. Who's in it? Who's singing with me? Tell me something real good. What do you got for me? What do you got for me? Let's see. What do I have? Well, this is what I have. I'm so excited that I got some red back, but see, my hairdresser in Cleveland, you can see it, doesn't have the color that lasts like my hairdresser in Chicago. So I may have to go over there. Yes, Joanna. Shouldn't we strive to do that every day? Joanna says, wow, you're having fun today. Are you surprised? I am. And I'm getting messages all over the place. So if you see me moving my fingers, I'm getting them out of the way. Anyways, give me a win. Give me a win, Joanna. Give me a win. G Fergie. What's good is your voice. Matzo ball schmall. Love that name. In fact, probably going to have maybe not matzo ball soup, but every Friday night, my son and I go to my parents' house for Shabbat dinner, Friday night dinner, Sabbath dinner, and my mom always makes homemade chicken soup that my son loves, and that's probably all that he'll eat. All right, finalize my adoption book or your profile. I've been home study approved since November. That's amazing because that's a piece that people struggle with. Joanna changed our cover photo on our profile book. Yes. Gina, share it with me. I want to see which one you went with. And Joanna said, my son got into his first college. Whoa, huge win. Already thinking about how much I'm missing next year. I can't even. I mean, I have a long time till then, but I can't even. All right. Well, I hope that you guys are all good. I have a bunch of stuff to talk about today that has come up during the week. So usually during the week, we'll take questions that we've gotten from our community. We'll take questions that I've seen on Facebook. And chances are, if somebody's asking them, you're wondering about it too. And it sounds like my dog might chew on a squeaky toy through this whole thing. So one question is, will consultants review my profile if I made it myself? And the answer is maybe. The thing is, most consultants now that I know want you to have a really good profile, a professional looking profile that kind of hits all the things that you need. It's so much more than just a pretty book and pretty pictures. It really is, because having a beautiful table book is one thing, but having an adoption profile that really connects with the person that's receiving it, which is an expectant mother who you hope chooses you if you are presenting, then you want to make sure it's done in the right way. So will consultants review your profiles? Chances are they will. I know that if you are thinking about working with us, we will look at your profile and give you our honest opinion whether or not we think you should just try the one you have first, or if we think you should redo it and get it done by a professional profile designer. So everybody's different. That's how we do it. We're going to give you our opinion, but we will not anymore help you edit and put together your own profile. We will look at it, give you our opinion, and then if you use our professional designers, when we really dig in with you and help you with the text and the photos and all of that. So there's that. And as always, chat with me. Let me know if this is resonating with you, if you have any questions about anything or about what we're saying. Kathy says it's Friday and baby Dew is born in how many days? 66 days. I've been wondering about you, Kathy. So I am so glad that you hopped on and I hope things are going well. How are you feeling about things? Did you have a phone call with Expectant Mom? What's going on? Okay, the next thing. Be prepared for a fall through before you start and hope it never happens. I recently had this conversation with somebody. You know who you are if you're watching. Somebody actually thanked me, which blew me away, after a fall through because they were prepared, even though it sucked. And so I want you to be prepared too. If you're just starting this process, or if you are still waiting, if you're just starting this process, if you're in the process, unfortunately, fall throughs are a part of this sometimes tumultuous journey. Fall throughs happen. Anymore, I don't even know the stats. I'm going to say the average is still about 25%, or it has gone up maybe to 25%. They have been fluctuating. We've seen them rise a lot higher than we ever have. And that said, the flip side is there are way more adoptions happening than fall throughs and disruptions happening. And people who do have disruptions, in my, from what I have seen, everybody has gone on to adopt, at least from the people that we have worked with. So I want you to go in fully prepared that this is one of the sucky parts of the adoption process, and it could happen. And that's just part of the journey. That's part of the risk that you take on. And knowing and preparing yourself that if this does happen to you and you are on the receiving end, that you are strong enough to bounce back or to recover and move forward. I'm not saying that you can do that the next day. People need some time to breathe, take a breath, regroup, grieve, punch walls in. Don't do too much damage. You're spending too much in this whole process to have to repair a wall. But just know that it's part of the process, and just kind of wrap your head around that mentally before you start this process, and hope that it never happens to you. But if it does, you can bounce back and continue to move forward. So that was worth saying. See, Kathy said she's so nervous and excited. The expectant mama hasn't wanted to talk much, so I have been giving her space. That's good. Hopeful that everything goes smoothly and baby is healthy. I hope the same thing too. And you know, that's a really good point. Every expectant mom is different. Some want that connection and want to build on it and want to talk a lot and need to be reassured. Others, it's too much for them and they don't want to connect so much, and wherever somebody is okay, and you just kind of taking their lead and respecting them is exactly what you should be doing. So all right, here's a question I saw recently, and I think it's a really good one because I think a lot of people are worried about this. Gina said strength is the name of the game. Yeah. And just staying in a positive headspace as much as possible, and really holding on to that hope and belief that you can do hard things. and you can move forward. What should we share with our home study provider? And can I adopt if I grew up in an abusive home or in a home that wasn't so positive? So I'll start with the latter question, which is most likely yes. You should never hide anything, and you should by no means ever lie, because usually it'll come back to bite you in the ass. So you don't want to get caught up in a lie. You know, we've had people in the past be so nervous. So we ask the question right up front now, do you have anything that you're nervous about revealing in the home study? But we've had people in the past when I first started who will come and say, I didn't tell them that I had a DUI 8 years ago, or I didn't tell them that I was in counseling or that I took medication. Should I have? And then we get scared and we're like, yes, you need to go back and tell them you were scared. You were scared to tell them. You're so sorry. You blah, blah, blah. You just avoid that. Okay. So do you need to start divulging everything in your past because you're scared that, you know, maybe you're supposed to? No, but answer the questions that you are asked. If you're not asked, if you are, I don't know, pursuing IVF at the same time you're starting this adoption process, then you probably don't need to bring it up. But if you are asked, you should be truthful and honest. So one thing that specifically to this, if I grew up in an abusive home, I am, you know, I had this come up before in the past where I think somebody was asked, is the abuser still in your life? And do you see them on a regular basis? And then was asked if they can keep the baby either away from that person or can they promise that the child would never be alone in the same room as the person that had abused you in your past, even though things were reconciled or that hadn't happened in years. So that may be something that's asked of you. But you should never lie. You should never withhold if you are asked a question. You are not expected to have a perfect past. If you are in therapy, if you are taking medication, that's okay. Nobody's perfect. This whole world suffers with anxiety and depression and all of that. So if you are somebody that is in counseling, taking medicine, recovering from a medical issue, had a sordid past, had a DUI, whatever it is, just be honest. And at the same time, don't start divulging information because you're not sure if they should know or shouldn't know. And if you're working with a consultant, you can certainly ask. But that would be my rule of thumb. Answer the questions, and you don't need to start uncovering every little thing in the past because you're nervous that you should. Hi, Brittany. Love that too on you. What do you love? The red hair? What are you referring to, Brittany? Tell me, because I want to know what you love. Thank you. I'll say thank you though. So I hope, does that make sense to you guys? Does anybody have stories about their home study or things that they were nervous about or wondered about, or would that have been helpful information for you when you were going through? I'm just wondering if this resonates with anybody. Hi, Rivki. Okay, well, oh, my top, not two. Thank you. Brittany likes my top. It's my spring top. I like this top too. Thank you. All right. So I wanted to tell you guys, we've just wrapped up our first quarter, and I wanted to share some information about how RG Adoption Consulting did, because I know that that's always exciting to hear. So, drum roll, please. We had 17 families in the first quarter take placement. Yay! That was more than last year. And funny enough, that was exactly our goal to the T, which was crazy. We hit a lot of our goals like that, like head on exactly, which was exciting. So 17 families took placement in Q1. Of those placements, of those babies, 35, oh shoot, and I just lost my, okay. Of those babies, 35% were white, 29% are black, and 24% mixed race. And then, oh, I deleted the number, but I think it was like 12% were Hispanic. So 35% white, 29% black, 24% mixed race, and 12% Hispanic. Does that surprise anyone? Does that go against what you thought as far as the racial makeup of babies who are being placed for adoption? I'm just curious from you. Is that pretty right on from what you thought? Are you surprised by any of those stats? And then I'll keep going. I'll break it down even further. Of the 17 families who took placement, 71% were couples. And of those couples, 12% were same-sex male and 6% were same-sex female. And 29% single, which is up from last year Q1. Now this is just Q1, but 29% of our placements in Q1 were by single women. So I thought that was it's really cool for me to just step back and look at how everything breaks down. So we are having our big Q1 meeting on Monday with the team, and I'm excited because right now we have, with our current intern, we have 8 people on our team, and it's been a really exciting start to the year, and and it seems as though things are picking up. I do want to say I had a conversation with somebody who said, you know, we saw so many situations in 1 month and then there was nothing. Why did you stop sending us situations for any particular reason? No, that's just how it goes. Like, there are some months where we get sent a lot of situations from different attorneys and agencies that we can then share with our families. And some months where there's barely any, and we are not the only ones experiencing this. I can tell you that some consultants I'm hearing haven't seen anything, and we've seen probably more than we've seen in previous years being sent to us. So I'm very happy with that. So I'm curious, do any of those statistics surprise you, or no? Are they right on with what you think, or did you think anything at all? Anybody? Surprising? Not surprising? Okay. Well, that's what I'm going to end with. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I am spending my day tomorrow with my son at baseball evaluations and tryouts. Anybody doing anything more exciting than that? I am going out to dinner with my parents and my son tomorrow night for dinner. And then I'm treating myself to a facial on Sunday. So it's birthday weekend for me. And I told my son that I expect to be pampered this weekend by him, and him be on his best behavior. Because if I don't remind him to pay some attention to me, he'll pay none. Coming up too, I just wanted to mention, and I think I mentioned it briefly, but I will share some pictures and stories. For spring break, I surprised my son. I think I mentioned it here on live. And we met his birth family on his father's side for the very first time. And I have the video of those first moments that will always bring me to tears. I have the same video when he first met his birth mom, although that wasn't a surprise. I'm so happy that I pulled off the surprise. It was the most beautiful 3 or 4 days. the way that my son got along with everybody and really looked up to his birth father. You know, I'm a single mom, so he really considers his birth father his dad. And that's totally okay with me. And it was just beautiful seeing the way he looked up to him and the way he got along so gorgeous with his brothers and sisters. And he said to me, I don't consider them my half brothers and sisters. They're just my brothers and sisters, which I just think is so beautiful. And at the same time, I heard part of his side of the story, and in some ways I wanted to go la 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 la. I don't. It's too much for me to know, and yet it's all part of the story, and it's all part of the layers that are adoption. And so bottom line is I am so blessed. I remember when I first started out in my journey about 11 years ago, I was open to pictures and calls, or maybe not just pictures, maybe, which then opened up to texting directly. I never knew that I would be open to visits. It never crossed my mind. It really wasn't even a thing 10 years ago when I adopted. That wasn't ever expected. And I am so, so grateful that our relationship has opened up fully and has just made both mine and Trey's lives so much richer. Even though it adds layers, and that's okay. I also understand that everybody's story and situation is different. So some people will struggle more with the relationship and the boundaries. Some people will be more comfortable with it than others. It takes time. Um, and I'm just so grateful that I was able to experience that with my son and have the wherewithal that at the beginning, when he came into our lives for the first time, I really pushed for my son to just know that he was in our lives and open the door to a relationship, because I think if I would have just let it be up to him, he would have been too scared to open that door. So I knew that he was still young enough that I could make the decision to open it for him, because I knew it would be beneficial to him more so than his fear. And I'm so happy that I did. Okay. I hope this was helpful for somebody. And thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.